Hey, I'm Regular Zach, and this is my limited set review for Tarkir Dragonstorm. So we're only talking about draft and sealed, no constructed formats, nothing like Commander or Standard, and we are talking only about the black cards today, just the mono black cards. We are putting all of them on a scale A to F, just a classic grading scale. More information about that in the description below. And we're going to be doing the cards through like commons, then uncommons, rares, and then mythics. So let's get started. So our first card is Caustic Exhale. It is a single black for an instant. It says, as an additional cost to cast the spell, behold a dragon or pay 1. So this really costs 2 unless you have a dragon on the battlefield or in your hand. And it says target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. This card looks awesome. This is one of my favorite ones of this cycle. There's a Behold common card for every color, and this one looks really good. Like, this is a solid card. You're going to be wanting to play this. It stops early aggression. Even 2 mana for -3/-3, that's still really strong. And if you happen to have a dragon in your hand, you can snap this off really early and like scare the shit out of your opponent with whatever dragon's in your hand. This is sweet. I like this card a lot. This is like a B-. Like, if you see this in a pack, you're going to be like, damn, is no one playing black? This is awesome. Next up, we have Worthy Cost, which is a single black for a sorcery. It says, as an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, and you can exile target creature or planeswalker. So this is a sorcery, so that's kind of a bummer. However, the Mardu mechanic has mobilize, so there's going to be a bunch of little tokens that are expendable because they get sacrificed at the end of combat anyway. So this card's going to be great in that. Like, in Mardu decks, this is going to be so strong. Like, you will be able to exile so much shit with this card. Other color combinations won't have as many tokens, and so you'll have to sacrifice like more real creatures. And there's, that's definitely fine. But I think specifically in Mardu decks, this is probably a B level card, but most everything else that's kind of like a C, I'll probably just give it a C plus because it does exile and there is a graveyard synergies in this deck or this format, as well as it only costs a single black. So that's always a big thing in my book. Nice. Definitely great in Mardu. Next up, we have Abzan Devotee. This is part of the Devotee cycle, or Devotee, whatever. It's 1 and a black for a 2/1 creature dog cleric. Cool, all right. It has the filter thing, so you can pay 1 of any color mana to add white, black, or green and activate only once each turn. And then if this is in your graveyard, you can pay 2 and a green to return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, I don't like this card very much. A 2 mana 2/1, and it doesn't block any of the like mobilized creatures, which I think you're going to be wanting your cheaper creatures to be able to do that because that's going to be the aggressive archetype. And this trading with like, or not being able to stick around and just block the stupid 1/1s forever sucks. I think the filter ability will be kind of relevant sometimes. I think the graveyard one will not really matter that much. Maybe if you're milling yourself, it'll be kind of something. But this is supposed to be Abzan anyway, so like that's not even the mill color. So with all those things together, this is like a D. I don't like this very much. I hope that I don't have to fix my mana using this card. I hope that I can fix my mana with my lands, and I don't have to put this dumb card in my deck. So this is like a D. You will see it around probably, but I don't think it's good really at all. Next up, we have Alesha's Legacy. It's 1 and a black for an instant. Target creature you control gains Death Touch and indestructible until end turn. All right, this is fine. You get to save a creature, you get to kill a creature. That's always great. This effect was very good in the last format that we had. However, the creature got a +1/+1 counter, and so it got to stick around and get bigger. This is significantly worse than that. I think the +1/+1 counter is a big game, and we're losing that on this card. So don't be fooled that this is as good as Maximum Overdrive, is what I'm saying. I think this will be fine. And it will be an interesting thing that, like, if your opponent's attacking with mobilized creatures, you don't know if they're just attacking to get the tokens in or what they want to do, and this could punish you for blocking. But I still think that this is probably like a C-. This will go around a lot. You don't have to prioritize this card at all if you want it. So you could play 1. I don't know if you want to play very many more than that. And it's C-. Not super happy about it. Next up is Delta Bloodflies. It's 1 and a black for a 1/2 creature insect. It has flying. And it says whenever this creature attacks, if you control a creature with a counter on it, each opponent loses 1 life. All right, so this has like a threshold of 1, basically. So it's a 2 mana 1/2. You get to attack in the air every turn, and then if you happen to have a creature with a counter, hopefully you can put a counter on this thing, then it attacks for basically 2 or more if you have counters on it. So it's not an amazing payoff because you'll only ever make them lose 1 life. So there's that. But yeah, at least it blocks the mobilized creatures, but or at least the tokens that they make. But meh, it's like a C- also. I don't love it. It's okay. We'll see. We'll see how much we want like little flyers, but meh. Next up, we have Unburied Earth Carver. Is 1 and a black for a 2/2 creature human warrior. You can pay 2, sacrifice another creature, and put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. All right. Yeah, this will be able to make you utilize all of your random tokens, either from Endure, I guess there are tokens from Endure, or your mobilized ones. You primarily would want to use your mobilized ones, I'm assuming, because they're going to die anyway. And this makes combat kind of annoying if you attack with this and a mobilized creature and there's a bunch of 1/1s, and then you can put counters on this. But you have to spend your whole turn doing that, essentially. 2 mana to activate this is very expensive. If this costs 1 or none, I'd be much more interested, but 2 is a lot. And I don't think you want to do that. I think this is going to be pretty bad. This is like a D+. It's playable. It's a 2 mana 2/2, but I don't really like it. I don't want to do that effect, really. It's too expensive. Next up is Aggressive Negotiations, which is 2 and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it and exile that card. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. So this is like a coercion type effect, but at least you get a +1/+1 counter out of the deal. 3 mana to take something from your opponent's hand, though. If the format's long enough and you... Like, the interesting thing with this card is that if your opponent beheld a dragon and you know they have one, this card's going to be really helpful because you kind of just sit around waiting for them to play their dragon, and if you have mana up, they probably don't want to play their dragon. They'll just do other things. So this is the type of card that will be like, okay, I get to go steal that dragon that you showed me, and I get to exile it. So that's cool. I don't know how important that's going to be in the format, though. That's probably like the best case scenario that this card has, is that you know they have something you want. Worst case scenario is you cast this and they have nothing. But at least it hits everything but lands. So, you don't have to worry about card type or anything like that. You can hit removal spells, you can hit counter spells, you can hit ultimatums, whatever. But still, with that, I don't really like it very much. It's like a D+ still. Like, I hope I don't really have to play this card. If this card ends up being good, that'd be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be good right off the bat. Next up, we have Dragon's Prey, which is 2 and a black for an instant, and says this spell costs 2 more to cast if it targets a dragon. It says destroy target creature. Okay. This card's actually going to be pretty good. This is murder. Murder for non-dragons, but an easier murder to cast. 2 and a black is so much easier to cast than 1 black. That's just how it is. And yes, you want to be able to kill dragons with this, but hopefully by the time that a dragon comes down and is really important, you can spend 5 mana on it, and that's fine. Your entire turn revolves around killing the dragon anyway, so spending your whole turn to do it, I don't think is going to be that big of a problem. And the fact that this is cheaper, so you can make sure you don't die to aggressive things, is also a huge game. Instant speed. Yes, I like this a lot. This is also a B-. This is a great removal spell. Yeah, it hits everything. It just is more expensive for obviously the big flying reptiles. All right, next up we have Kintree Nurturer, which is 2 and a black for a 2/1 creature human druid. It has lifelink. All right, 3 mana 2/1 lifelink, but when this creature enters, it endures. All right, so it could be a 3 mana 3/2 with lifelink. Not really excited by that. A 3 mana 2/1 with lifelink and a 1/1. I like that a little bit more. I don't think this is huge though, but it's a player. Like, I think any of these Endure cards, if they're not horribly costed, are pretty nice. I wonder if there's a white one that is a 2 mana one that it's just bodies, and I'm gonna kind of consider this just bodies, and the lifelink is just a little bit of extra stuff. Maybe you put counters on this besides you could put the endure counter but more or whatever. But sure, yeah, it's a C. It's fine. It's nothing to write home about, but it's a card. Next up, we have Nightblade Brigade, which is 2 and a black for a 1/3 creature goblin soldier with Death Touch. It also has Mobilize 1. So when it attacks, you create a tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token and sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. And it says when this creature enters, surveil 1. Okay, that's a little extra text. You just get to look at the top card, either keep it on top or put it in your graveyard. This is also like a fine thing. I like the mobilized cards that have these effects, though. The ones that, like, most of them don't have a high power, but they have some interesting keywords. This is the one that has Death Touch. There's ones with Menace and lots of other things. Kind of feels a little weak, though. The Surveil, it kind of looks like they're trying to make a card, and this was too weak on its own, so they just slap Surveil on it just to be like, there you go. Help you out a little bit. It seems kind of like an afterthought. So with that, I think this is probably not super amazing. You want your death touchy creatures to be cheaper than this. And even though this creates a 1/1, I don't know how many situations you're really going to be in where you can attack and like actually utilize the 1/1. Or not just utilize the 1/1, but what board are you looking at where you're stoked that you have like a 1/3 with death touch and a 1/1 coming in? And your opponent just says, okay, no blocks. And then you're like, oh. That could easily happen. That could happen with a lot of these mobilized cards, which maybe is what you want. I don't really know yet, but I think this is fine. I'm going to give it like a C. It's a C. It's definitely a C. I think I had put C minus, but looking back at some of the other cards that we had given minuses or just regular C's to, this one's fine. It's fine. All right, next up. We have Cruel Truths, which is 3 and a black for an instant. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. Draw spell, expensive. Instant speed is really huge on this card, but I don't know if we love it that much. I'll play it, but it's like a C minus. I don't think it's a terrible card. It's not like a D. And if these games go long, you will want draw spells, so there is that, but you don't want multiples of this card. So yeah, it's just a C minus. You'll get this card if you want it. Next up is Sandskidder Outrider. It's 3 and a black for a 2/1 creature goblin soldier with Menace. It says when this creature enters, it endures 2. All right, so yeah, a 4 mana 2/1 Menace, very awful. But it could also be a 4 mana 4/3 with Menace. All right, that's pretty all right. Or more interesting, I always like more bodies. A 4 mana 2/1 with Menace and a 2/2. Like 4 mana get two power creatures essentially. That's good. I like that. I like that not a crazy amount. It's still like a C because I don't think this is going to be the best common. I don't know if we live in a world where that's going to be the case right now. But there have been cards that are similar to this that are in aggressive strategies where it's a 4 mana 2/2/2s can be good. Yeah, I think it's fine. Just like a C, though. Just another run-of-the-mill black card. Next card is Adorned Crocodile, which is 4 and a black for a 5/3 creature crocodile. It says when this creature dies, create a 2/2 zombie druid creature token, and this card also has Renew. You can pay a black to exile this card from your graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery. All right, 5 mana, 5/3. Not in love. It dies into a 2/2, so that is super helpful. And the Renew being a single black is also super helpful. I don't know if that pushes it over the top, though. I feel like my 5 mana play, I would like it to at least be able to block a little bit better than a 3 toughness thing, even though it does die into something. You'll probably play some of these in your like Sultai Mill decks and stuff, so you get to put counters on stuff for 1 mana. I don't know. It's another C. I'm not... a lot of these black creatures don't seem that exciting to me. Next up is Feral Deathgorger. So this is the common dragon with Omen and all that. So I'm going to read the dragon part first. So it's a 5 and a black for a 3/5 creature dragon with flying and death touch. And when this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Okay, so the dragon part is not super exciting. I think 6 mana for a 3/5 flying Death Touch is not a great body at all. And I don't know. Exiling up to 2 cards in a single graveyard does not seem that big of a game. Let's read what the Omen is. Let's read this. So it also has a Dusk Sight, which is stapled onto this card. It's 1 and a black for a sorcery Omen. And it says put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature, draw a card, then shuffle this card into its owner's library. Okay, sorcery speed, you get to put a counter on something and then draw a card. So it does replace itself. I don't know if I like these dragons that just replace themselves. I kind of like the ones that actually do something more. 2 mana for a 1/1 counter is not big game. And the fact that it shuffles back into your library and the whole Omen thing in general is just so much weaker than Adventure. It's really hard for me not to just think about that. This card does not look that amazing. I think this card's going to go around in drafts a lot. I don't think you need to prioritize this. And if you see it, you can get this card. It's a C. Like, it's none of these black creatures seem that exciting. Let's go to the uncommons. Let's see if there's some more like exciting uncommon black creatures, but the common ones are just, they're fine. Good removal spells though. Next up we have Desperate Measures, which is a single black for an instant. Target creature gets +1/-1 until end of turn. When it dies under your control this turn, draw 2 cards. So this is a Skull Clamp spell. It feels like maybe 10% of the time this is a pump spell, and 90% of the time this just, you attack with your mobilize stuff, and then before you sacrifice your token, you just village rights it, essentially. Like, this is not village rights. You can play it in response to someone targeting your thing and killing it, so you can draw 2 cards. It doesn't fizzle their spell, though, but most of the time that doesn't matter anyway. I don't know, this one's a hard one. I don't love it. Like, maybe it'll be helpful to get those Mardu decks over the edge. Like, you need some draw spells that are super cheap. I guess it is only 1 mana. I was going to give this a C-, but I think just a regular C is totally fine. I don't think I'm going to have to prioritize this card, but at least it's really cheap and draws you 2 cards. There's that. Okay. Yeah, there is that. And we do have, like, Endure 1/1 Spirit tokens flying around. So, okay, bring it up a little bit. Next up, we have Alchemist's Assistant. It's 1 and a black for a 2/1 creature monkey with lifelink. Yeah, 2 mana 2/1 lifelink. Always loves to. I prefer 2/2s, but yeah, 2/1, we'll take it. And it also has Renew. You can pay 1 and a black to exile this card from your graveyard and put a lifelink counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Yes, buddy. This is a creature that I'm interested in. This is my 2 mana play. I love a 2 mana play where I get to start like attacking and gaining life. And then when it dies, because it has like a small toughness, it's going to trade for something or just die. You get to put a lifelink counter on something big later. Yeah. Yeah, and that counts towards all your counter things with all your like Absent creatures and stuff. This is sweet. I like this a lot. It doesn't crack the B range. It's a C+, but I like this creature a lot. It's very exciting to see this monkey. I like this monkey a lot. Monkey. All right, next up we have Corroding Dragonstorm, which is 1 and a black for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life, surveil 2, and as all the Dragonstorms do, it says when a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. So, I want to think about these cards as only the first part of the text, because yes, there are dragons around, but it's not like you're going to be able to play this a bunch of times in the game. I don't think you're going to, like, you'll probably pick this up once. I don't think you're going to pick this up more than that. If it triggered on omens and dragons, then maybe, but the fact that it only triggers on dragons, there's not a bunch of cheap dragons. You're going to pick it up one time and maybe recast it once. So really, you're not going to be able to loop this. This card does at least like hit your opponent and you gain some life. You get to set up some things. That's kind of cool. You don't really get to sacrifice it for anything though, which is sometimes what these abilities, like these cards have been good if you can sacrifice it to something to get a different effect, or this is really just sitting on the battlefield waiting for you to play a dragon to bounce it. So with that being said, I don't really like these Dragonstorms very much. I'm probably a little bit too harsh on them, honestly. Like the fact that you could just replay it at some point anyway. Should just be good and value. But it seems like a setup card for... You know what? I said it's a D+. I said it's a D+ when I was first looking at this card. I don't love these Dragonstorms. I don't know why. I know I'm wrong. I feel like I'm wrong. I feel like I'm wrong with these Dragonstorms, that I keep saying that they're not good, but they just don't impress me very much. I just think that they seem like they're going to be so great because you can play it multiple times, and you're just not going to be able to do it that many times. I don't think so. But I'm ready to be wrong. All right, next up we have Krumar Initiate, which is 1 and a black for a 2/2 creature human cleric. It has an activated ability. You can pay X and a black to tap it. Pay X life. This creature endures X. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so you get to pay life for endure. It's pretty interesting. It's very slow, but it can get really big, or it just pumps out a bunch of tokens of whatever size you want. Kind of unfortunate you have to pay X and X life. If it was like cheaper than that, it would be kind of exciting. So this is like a C. I don't think this is going to do all... It seems like, whoa, big game. But that's a lot of life for a big creature. If you want a 5/5, you have to pay 5 life. That's a huge chunk. And making this a 7/7 is not that exciting either. Pumping out 1/1s, maybe? But it's still just sitting there and you're tapping it on your turn. It activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, this is a C. I don't like it very much. Okay. Yeah, passing. Strategic Betrayal is 1 and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent exiles a creature they control and their graveyard. Ooh. Obviously, this is going to be better against certain decks. And you can see that the Abzan are killing their own people in the art. This will not be very good against the Abzan because they're going to endure and they're going to have a bunch of little 1/1s around. So, no, not against that deck. But Jeskai, possibly. There are actually a lot of tokens. Maybe this isn't very good, actually. Giving your opponent the choice to exile whichever creature they want is the thing that you don't like. Target opponent exiles a creature they control, so they just choose. You get to get their graveyard and something on the way. But no, it's just a C. You don't need to prioritize. I think the common removal spells are so much better than this. So prioritize the common ones. This one does not hit the mark. Next up is Unrooted Ancestor, which is 2 and a black for a 3/2 creature spirit cleric with flash. You can pay 1 and sacrifice another creature. This creature gains indestructible until end of turn, and you tap it. Okay, this could be pretty good. I also don't know if this cracks into the B range. It actually honestly could. The ability of being able to, like this, the art shows you that it's a Abzan creature because of the armor thing. But in Mardu, this would also be quite good because being able to attack in and then sacrifice your like stupid tokens with Mobilize to give this indestructible, but you get to do it as a combat trick. That's pretty exciting. And it's going to be annoying to keep around. It also has flash, so you can hold up removal, and then if you don't have to use it, you flash this in. Next attack is kind of big. Or you flash it in and block and sack something. Sack a chumper. There could be some interesting combat stuff with this. All right, I'm going to bring it up from a C minus, or sorry, a C plus to a B minus. I like it. I might be too high on it, but I like this card. I think it's cool. Next up is Whale of War. Is 2 and a black for an instant. Choose 1. Creatures target opponent controls get -1/-1 until end of turn. Or return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Sure. Yeah, getting stuff back from your graveyard seems like the better thing to do with this card. Instant speed return stuff to your hand is kind of nice because then you could either kill something or play this. And if they attack with a bunch of stuff, you can just like nuke their board. And if people try to go wide, this is a way to punish them. But -1/-1 is very specific. And I don't know if you'll be able to leverage that enough. But we've seen this on like Mind Rot effects before, so it's kind of fun to see it in a different light with the like Raise Dead thing. And Raise Dead 2 creatures for 3 mana at instant speed. All those things kind of culminate to something that is kind of interesting. You know what? I was giving this a worse grade. I'm kind of going up on some of these black uncommons. Let's give it a C. It's situational for sure, but I think you could exploit those situations, so I like it. Next up, we have Yathen Tomb Guard. Is 2 and a black for a 2/3 creature, human warrior with menace. It says whenever a creature you control with a counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and you lose a life. Awesome. Awesome. This card will do things. Now, it doesn't do anything by itself, so that's annoying. But it is menacey, and you can get counters on stuff fairly easily. I like this so much better than the Bloodfly thing, because like this is a real payoff where you do have to hit them, so it's not on attack. But drawing the card is fantastic, and putting counters on this also sounds pretty nice. And your opponent will have to have some awkward blocks just to make sure you don't like draw cards, or maybe they have to lose creatures to do that. You know what this is? This card seems good. The fact that it can't get a counter itself does push it down to a C+ range instead of a B. But any card that says draw a card is exciting to me as far as like repeatable ones with creatures. So this has a huge upside, but I think just on its own, it's probably just like a C+. Next up, we have 100 Battle Veteran. Wow, 100 battles. I didn't even realize that's a lot. I was just looking at the art because this looks like Jade from Mortal Kombat. The Dark Jade, the dead one. But anyway, this is 3 and a black for a 4/2 creature zombie warrior. It says as long as there are 3 or more different kinds of counters among creatures you control, this creature gets +2/+4. So it's a 6/6? 4 mana 6/6, okay. You may cast this card from your graveyard. If you do, it enters with a finality counter on it. Oh. Oh, okay. I like this. This is a really weird card. Because there's this threshold thing where you care about different kinds of counters on creatures, but you do get to play this card twice. It does cost 4 mana and it's a 4/2. But if you can build your deck in a way where you get a 4 mana 6/6 that you get to recast, I don't know, that seems pretty big game. I like that. I do like that. I'm gonna give it a C+. I think it's the same kind of thing as the like Yathen Tomb Guard. I mean, this actually does do its thing by itself, though. You do get to cast it twice. But are we super happy with like a 4/2 body that's like kind of small? I mean, small butt. I wish this had a bigger butt. Sorry, Jade. But it's not gonna go to a B because 3 different kinds of counters is hard to do. I think that's gonna be a problem. It's not just like 3 +1/+1 counters. You need like the lifelink counter and like a death touch counter and a +1/+1 counter, whatever. So that will be difficult. But 4 mana 6/6, if you get it done, that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Salt Road Skirmish, which is 3 and a black for a sorcery. Destroy target creature. Create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. They gain haste until end of turn. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. 4 mana destroy anything. Sure, that's going to be nice. And this format's going to need that a lot. This is probably like a B- because 4 mana kill anything. It is sorcery speed, but it's better than 5 mana kill anything, which is often what we get. And sorcery speed, you get the 1/1s and you get to use them for whatever you would like. Yeah, B-, not too much to say about this card besides that. Venerated Stormsinger. This card is sweet. It is 3 and a black for a 3/3 creature orc cleric with mobilize 1. And this is the best part. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oof. Blood Artist. This guy comes down and you have a board of mobilize things or a bunch of little tokens or whatever you're doing. This smokes your opponent. They're going to lose so much life so quickly. Like, you're attacking with tokens that are going to die no matter what, and so your opponent like is basically forced to block. Maybe you get to play some other cards that deal damage to things that have been dealt damage or anything like that. Combat tricks, whatever you want. This guy is going to be like a kill on sight. This is a great card. This is like it does need a deck to be built around it. Like, you don't just win if you don't have a bunch of token things going on. But this is B-, like a B-. Very good. Next up, we have Gurmag Rakshasa, which is 4 black for a 5/5 creature demon. It has menace. It says, When this creature enters, target creature and opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Yes. It doesn't straight up kill anything, so it's not as good as like that rat from Bloomburrow that just got to like kill something. But there will be things around to kill, and it will make attacks hard. You can play this post-combat to kill something that blocked a 1/1 or whatever, like a 3/3 that blocked a 1/1. Or you can just make a bad attack into good attacks because you also get +2/+2. So this seems sweet, and then a 5/5 Menace Body is going to be really nice as well. This is a B. I like this card a lot. Yeah, great stuff. I love ETBs that kill things. It's so good. Next up, we're moving to the rares. So we have Sidisi, Regent of the Mire. So this is 1 and a black for a 1/3 legendary creature, Zombie Snake Warlock. You can tap it, sacrifice a creature you control with mana value X other than Sidisi. Sorry, so you're sacrificing a creature and then their mana value is X. It says return target creature card with mana value X +1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is it's a birthing pod from your graveyard that rewards you for milling yourself and wanting to sacrifice your own creatures on your turn to then turn them into things in your graveyard that were milled that are exactly 1 plus the mana value that you have on your battlefield of the creature that you don't want anymore. I don't like this card. I don't think it's good. I think it looks cool, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough. The sorcery speed is so brutal on this card because you can't do it in response to removal spells. You can't do it in combat. You have to wait a whole turn before you can tap this thing. Even having a target for what you want is going to be hard to find. Like, maybe there's a couple cards that I haven't liked where you like can recast them from the graveyard. You turn the common 2 mana 2/1 that comes back or whatever. You like turn that into a 3 power or 3 mana value thing, and you can kind of go up a whatever. But all your cards have to be in your graveyard, and this can't even just come down and do the effect. This is a D. I don't think you really want to play this card. This is a shitty rare. I don't think it's good. Please don't put this in your deck. This will be cooler in other formats, but not this one. Next up, we have Sinkhole Surveyor, which is 1 and a black for a 1/3 creature bird scout with flying. And says, whenever this creature attacks, you lose 1 life, and this creature endures 1. Hell yes. This is what we want to do. So either we're attacking in the air, and we're putting +1/+1 counters on this to attack for more, or we're attacking in the air, and we're getting 1/1s every turn. Both of those things are sweet, and we can choose whichever one we want every other turn. This is awesome. I'm not even, sorry, we get to choose every turn. You do have to lose a life, but I don't know, getting cardboard is awesome, and this is going to be a great way to make a bunch of little dudes, or make this thing huge, or both. I like this a lot. It is, it only has 1 power, but it can get huge. This is a B-. Like, this card seems like just awesome. I'm very happy to be playing this card in any black deck. You know what? I said B-. It's just a B. I think this card's good. It's a good card. You should be happy to open this. Good black card. Next up, we have Avenger of the Fallen, another good black card. It's 2 and a black for a 2/4 creature human warrior with Death Touch. It has Mobilize X, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Oh, this is brutal. This is just play as many creatures as you possibly can, trade off as much as you want, attack with this thing, make a ton of dudes. This has to be traded. Like, you have to use a card to kill this card. Your opponent's going to be so upset when you play this. This is going to deal so much damage. And it also works with the playstyle that I like, which is, trade your creatures off, make the board kind of small until I get to play this and attack and make 5, 7, 10 tokens. 10 is a lot. 7 is also a lot. 5 would be like, that's a great number of tokens to make. That's so awesome. So yeah, this card's it's B+. You do have to have the creatures in your graveyard because it doesn't do just anything by itself, and you have to attack. So obviously there are cards that are going to be better than this, but I like this a lot. And B+. Great card. Quarcy Revenant is 1 black for a 3/3 creature vampire This looks a little bit familiar. It has flying, it has death touch, and it has lifelink. This is our Vampire Nighthawk at rare, but it also has a new ability. It has Renew. You can pay 2 and a black, exile this card from your graveyard, put a flying counter, a death touch counter, and a lifelink counter on target creature you control. Now, this on its own is just sweet. This is like a B+ level card because it has to be dealt with a card. Your opponent cannot get rid of this thing without actually committing resources to it. It's going to be like you can race with this card. They have to get rid of it as soon as they possibly see it. And when they do get rid of it, because they will, you get to just make another creature this again. Even if it's like a 2-power creature, you're still really happy with that. You're obviously hoping that it's that 4 mana 4/2, and you put all the counters on that thing. Now you have a 6/6 flying death touch lifelink creature. I would be heavily prioritizing trying to get that. If you open this card, try to get that 4 mana 4/2 uncommon, because that would be a sweet combo. But yeah, this card is just, it's going to be so good. It could even be like an A level card. It could be like an A- because it's just like, hey, deal with me. Deal. You know what? I've talked myself into it. We're going up to A-. This card's awesome. It's so strong. You get 2 of this. You get it twice. This is going to be a prime exile target. If you can exile something, please just exile this thing. I love it. Next up, we have the Sibsig Ceremony, which is black for a legendary enchantment. It says creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Oh, that's really nice. Cheap dragons. It says whenever a creature you control enters, if you cast it, destroy that creature, then create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. So I get cheap dragons that are no longer dragons. Okay. I hate this card. This is an F. This looks like some weird combo garbage that I don't know what to do with. And in draft, you can't do anything with it. Like, yeah, this doesn't even work with Sidisi, where, like, you get to return those cards to the battlefield. You still have to pay for the creature, even though it costs less. I don't know, are you assuming that you have a bunch of, like, 2 and a black creatures? Because you have to, this is black. You can't even cast this card, and maybe you don't even want to, because it's horrible. This is an F. Don't play this card. Don't take it. Don't even have this in your collection. Just, art is really cool, though. Next up is Scavenger Regent, which is 3 and a black for a 4/4 creature dragon. The dragon side, it has flying, and also ward, discard a card. That is always good. Ward, discard a card is so strong. And a 4 mana 4/4 flying dragon, that's where I like to see my dragons. Like nice, sneaky, fast ones just right there. It also fits in bigger scale decks. This is kind of interesting because the dragon side is small, but the omen side is a little bit bigger. So the omen is Exude Toxin, which is X black for a sorcery. It says each non-dragon creature gets -X until end of turn, and then of course you shuffle it into your library. So either you play this and you're like, sick, let's go hunting, let's go fight some stuff. Your opponent has to use 2 cards to get rid of it most of the time. Or you just hold on to it. Maybe you draw it late and you are behind, so you just wipe the board, and then you hopefully get to draw this again. This card is an A-, or just, you know what, this is just an A. This is an A because it's a good creature staple to a board white. Like, how can you be mad about that? This is an awesome card. It's so good. This is great. I think I might like the Revenant a little bit better, honestly. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Last up, we have Rot Curse Rakshasa, which is 1 and a black for a 5/5 creature demon at Mythic. It has Trample. A 2 mana 5/5 with Trample? Well, it also has Decayed. Okay, well, Decayed means that this creature can't block, and when it attacks, you sacrifice it at the end of combat. So, okay, you get 2 mana for 1 combat of a trampling 5/5. It also has Renew. So when it's in your graveyard, you can pay X black and exile this card from your graveyard. Put a Decayed counter on each of up to X target creatures. Activate only as a sorcery. Weird. Okay, so this is a funky card where you get to like play it early, attack in. you probably don't get to trade with anything because your opponent knows that you're just going to have to sacrifice it. So this does kind of just dome them for 5. And late in the game, if it's still in your graveyard, you get to exile it and put decayed counters on all of your opponent's creatures. So they can't block, and then if they ever attack, they have to sacrifice them. That's pretty sweet. That's really sweet. I do think you need to be kind of in certain situations for this thing, and milling definitely makes this a lot more interesting. But yeah, this card seems like... It seems like it'll do a lot of stuff, and it can do things. I just hope that you'll always be able to get that second part off. I'm going to give it a B because of that. I don't think it's going to... There's a huge ceiling to it, but I don't know if it's fully a bomb. But you do have to, like, the impending doom of not being able to, like, block is really scary. It's probably like a B+. I don't know if it's a bomb, but this card is really scary. Just sitting there, knowing that your opponent is just like, at any turn, could just be like, all right, pay 7, exile this, 5 of your creatures can't block anymore. That's scary. And then if they ever attack, they just die. That's also scary. Putting this, also just using this to make sure all their flyers can't block, / if they ever attack, you have to sacrifice them. That's pretty big game too. Yeah, okay. I talked myself into it. I like this card. Not all the way up to an A, but B+. I kind of went up from, it was like a little bit lower than that, but yeah, this card seems sweet. But yeah. Anyway, folks, that's all the black cards, and that's what I think about all the black cards from Tarkir Dragonstorm for Limited. If you like this video, please comment and do all the YouTube-y things. Click the sub thing and do the bell and all that jazz. But ultimately, I just like talking with you folks. So leaving comments is my favorite thing because I get to talk with all of you about your thoughts. So tell me what you thought I was right about, or tell me specifically what I was wrong about, because there's probably a lot of that. So anyway, folks, there are the rest of the other videos for all the different colors are kind of around you. Should be popping up. Check them out and tell me what I'm wrong about on those videos as well. But until next time, I'm Regular Zach, and I'll see you then. Bye.